I'm back, and this is the second part of our info reel, 4 ways to free yourself from you. But as we covered last time, the 4 ways, we're going to be giving you another 2 ways to free yourself from you. And basically it's about loneliness. And last time we covered the 4 ways of freeing yourself from you. The first one was admission. Admit how you're feeling. The second step was embracing the outside world. There's a world out there, and it's not all about what's going on inside internally. And the third step was separating fact from fiction. Separating what thoughts are going on in here as opposed to what's really going on in reality, in the outside world. And the fourth step was focusing on helping others, stopping us from internalizing everything, from being so self-possessed, being so self-obsessed, thinking that we're the only ones that matter. So we're going to be moving on to 2 more steps, how to get away from yourself, how to free yourself from you. But first, watch this. A lot of the time, when we feel alone and depressed and upset, and we're hiding ourselves away from everyone else, and that doesn't always have to be when we're sitting in our room alone. We don't want to be made to think about what the cause is, what the root cause is. We don't like to be challenged. I'm sure that's not how you see it. I'm sure that's not how you want it to be. But just take time out and think what your loneliness is doing to you. I'm sure you'll see that it affects you physically as well as mentally and emotionally. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. I've been there. I know what it's like. And it accompanied all the other addictions I had, all the other compulsions I had, all the other obsessions I had. Loneliness was part of it. Loneliness was like the frame, the context, and all the other stuff was the content. I felt victimized by my own behaviour. How many of you feel the same? Because rationally, you think it's not right. I'm sure a lot of you feel like that. But because it's ingrained in us, then you don't quite know how to break free. It's a daily habit. It's a daily occurrence. You're in your home and you feel alone. You go out and you feel alone. There may be times, yes, there may be times when you enjoy yourself, when you're with people, when you even want to speak to someone about it. But there's something holding you back. You do, but there's something holding you back, and the stinky thoughts are saying, not really telling you everything, not telling you everything, not really giving you what I'm really thinking, what I'm really feeling. And then you start playing games with yourself because you think you're playing games with other people. I thought I was unique. How many of you have that same feeling? There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we should feel unique. We are all individuals. But when it's wrapped up with loneliness, it's not necessarily a healthy feeling of individuality. Because this uniqueness made me think that no one understood me. No one could possibly understand what I was going through. because no one else was like this. They were all out there enjoying themselves. And I was making things up, projecting, imagining what they were thinking. So I was convinced no one could help me. I was convinced by my own false pride that I could work it out by myself. I could work it out by myself. What I didn't realise was that I was consigning myself to a life of containment. Not just the four walls, not just where I was living, but the containment of my own self. I was consigning myself, I was sentencing myself to my own prison. And I was carrying it around with me. And that prison, because that's what it is, was full of fear, full of blockages, full of hate, and utterly, utterly dark. A darkness of torture. But it doesn't have to be like that. No, it doesn't have to be like that. So how do we do the next couple of steps, the 2 extra steps that I mentioned at the beginning of our info reel? The first step is to identify the positive and be grateful. Now, I know I can hear a lot of you saying, oh, there's nothing positive about my life whatsoever. There's nothing good going on in my life at all. So how the hell can I identify a positive? Well, one of the things that I would ask is, are you enjoying your life now? Is it something that you're happy with? Are you satisfied with what's going on? I know that when we are feeling like this, when we're feeling alone, when we're feeling isolated, when we feel as if no one really understands us or even cares about us, that we become steeped in this hole of negativity. And that's what it is. It's a hole. So if we're actually living our lives in such a negative way, then we have to change it. If it's not making us satisfied with ourselves, then why aren't we trying something different? Why is being positive a fantasy or something that we're cynical about or something that we think isn't a possibility when negativity is? What do you think will actually get you out of the situation that you're in right now? To remain in that mindset of negativity or to change it? To become positive? Because it's all about habits. You've got a negative habit at the moment. Your mindset is saying this is the way that we think. This is the way that we are. But is that getting you where you want to be? Is that getting us to achieve what it is we want to achieve in life? And this is what we have to realize. This is what we have to, in a way, accept. The way that we're living at the moment is not the way that we want to live. So why aren't we changing it? Why is it so easy to be negative and not positive? It's because we've not tried it. And it's all about changing our mindset, changing our daily habits, re-educating our brain and the way that our brain functions. Positive thoughts will come naturally to us when we start reframing our mindset, when we're replacing negative stuff with positive thoughts, positive outcomes, hope, in other words. We all need hope, guys. How many of you think that there isn't any hope? There is. It's just that we have to create it for ourselves. The point is, we have to shift our mindset. We have to shift the way we think, the way we feel, the way that we do things, from the negative to the positive. I can't stress this more than enough. It's approaching yourself and your life with optimism, with good thoughts, good vibes. Why do we have to surround ourselves, although it seems to be so easy, why do we surround ourselves with negativity? Because something bad is happening to us doesn't mean our response to it is equally bad. Something bad is happening to us, then we respond to it in a positive action way. Fear of rejection is big. Fear of failure is huge. The tool we use to cope with those things is excuses and blame. Let's not do that anymore. Let's shift our mindset. Let's reframe. Let's change our state to how we respond and behave to negative things. And that includes the negativity in our heads. And the next thing that follows from being positive is gratitude. Because what that does is that gratitude helps us to see the good things about ourselves, about what we're going to do, about our lives, about how we can change. Not only that, but it makes us realize that there's a whole world out there that we've been hiding from. And the second and last step is be able to bring this all together. So it's like one whole package of action. We have the desire, we have the strategy, we have the action, and that leads to the results. So we need to bring it all together. Now you may be thinking, this is all pretty basic. Yes, it is. It's simple. It needs to be, because we tend to overcomplicate things. It is basic. The more simple it is, the easier we're making it for ourselves. Negativity is a product of our habits, because we're doing it over and over again, and we've probably been doing it for years. Positivity will replace negativity by creating new habits, which we have to do over and over and over again. Our conscious mind has to teach our unconscious mind to do things naturally without any thought. We can smash the conditioning that's been keeping us feeling so alone for so many years. So join me in being able to put all of these steps together to help you to free yourself from you. If you like what you've heard, hit that subscription button, and do remember, if you want to learn now, you need to know how. Bye bye for now.